What if the monster that you fear outside of you is actually inside? Today I'm going to share a little bit about some Filipino folklore. My virtual assistant recently just helped me to learn more about the aswang, a frightening myth that is about a figure that is part vampire, part shapeshifter, part witch. Aswang comes from the word in the Philippines, asunga, which means to eat. So this is a predatory figure. And it's not just one figure. It can take many different forms. Vampire, witch, creature, beast, beautiful woman. And really most of the fears, most of the threats outside of us are like that. All comes down to one thing, something that feeds off of us, but can come in many forms. Maybe that's the fear that's implanted into our minds by our governments, by our education systems. Perhaps it's the fear that implants through our parents, their experience, their life stories. Maybe it shows up in social media and the news. But all of these things are ultimately feeding on you. They're feeding on your attention, they're feeding on your power, and they're draining you of your life force. So let's learn a little bit more about this creature so that you can understand how mythology like this can upgrade your nervous system. This figure, the aswang, frightening, absolutely bone-chilling. It's really more than just a myth, it's a mirror. It reflects to us some of the deepest fears that we have as humans. We come here and we are gifted life, we are gifted vitality. We express that vitality through action. We focus it with our awareness and our attention. We gift it through love and presence with those that we appreciate in our community and our family. But the aswang is there to feed off of that. There to drain our life force, just like so many aspects of our culture is draining us. Your phone, addiction to pornography, addiction to materialism and purchasing products that you don't really need, spending your money on bigger cars, better cars, faster, nicer things. But ultimately, we end up feeling empty, drained, unsatisfied. And this can cycle into deeper patterns of addiction. Being drained like the aswang drains us, sucking our blood and our vitality and our life force. This mythology, this fearful figure, it's not just something that lurks around us, it's the fear that's inside of our minds. And us as the misfits, the mutants, the neurodivergents, our minds work differently. We are much more powerful. We see things differently. We have different pattern recognition gifts. And our nervous system is also highly attuned to threats. And so that inner voice, really the thing that can drain us the most, can be our inner aswang. And so our biggest responsibility, our biggest opportunity in life is to understand how our nervous system works, to understand how our attention, our awareness, and our focus works. Have you ever gotten out of bed and you had that sensation that you're immediately waking up on the wrong side? All of a sudden your day starts on a negative loop. Your thought patterns go to the negative and more negative, and things seem to get worse and worse. Whereas there's other days when you've gotten up and you've been perfectly happy, joyful, and natural, feeling grateful and filled with life. Well, what is that vampiric energy that shapeshifts into all of these different thoughts? Well, it's your inability to take control. Now, you might have had something, anything could really start us off into the negative thought pattern. But it's about our ability to choose something different, to recognize what's happening, to identify the fear, the monster, and to see it exactly for what it is. It's a mirror, it's a lesson, it's a gift, right? Your thoughts create the emotions. Your thoughts create the emotions that then create the actions. But your thoughts are also a mirror and a reflection for your inner state, for your deepest beliefs, for your cultural programming. So instead of blaming the thoughts or even ignoring the thoughts and focusing on the patterns of panic and fear, you can use those to mirror back to you and show you, just like we look into the mythology of the Philippines and we say, well, clearly the aswang is reflecting what they have been programmed to fear. Something stealing from them, stealing from their vitality, something deceiving them. The aswang that walks around the day as a beautiful and attractive woman, but by night is coming in the darkness to feed. There's power in naming the fears, right? If you get up in the day and you start to go to work and you realize that you're feeling drained, you're feeling fearful you're feeling is some sort of state of panic, ask yourself, what is going on? What am I afraid of? Maybe it's the fear that you might lose your job and not have enough money. Now, I know many of you want to take a leap and break free from your 9 to 5, break free from the job, the corporation that maybe has been putting food on your table, but is draining your life slowly. But a lot of you have fear to do that. You're afraid to be able to take a leap into the unknown. It's important, just like giving the Aswang a name, giving it characteristics, giving it shape. You can name those fears that you work with, that you experience in your life. Well, what's the fear really? It's maybe the fear that you might fail, that people might make fun of you. It's the fear that you might not have enough money, that you might go hungry. And once you identify those things, you can start to actually think about them and ask, inquire, are they true? Maybe you fear not having enough, but have you ever gone through a period where you haven't had enough? You might have even ended up out on the street or without a house, but how did that opportunity show you what wasn't working? How did it allow you to grow? Some of the people that I know that had tremendous failures, that turned into the greatest life lesson for them, right? By naming the fear, by understanding it and shifting their perspective on it, almost like the Aswang in the corner lurking in the darkness preys upon our fears. But if we turn on the light and we see it for what it is, we can actually take its power away. This is the power of mythology. You see, the unconscious mind primarily speaks, communicates, and receives instructions through symbols and metaphors. Yes, I can speak to my unconscious mind and say, hey, unconscious mind, send all of the energy that doesn't support me right now into the earth and clear my energy field. It will respond to that. And most of the techniques that I use with my coaching clients, we use metaphor, ritual, ceremony, and symbol to be able to give it the clearest instructions. Especially if you sit with me in a hypnotherapy session, most of what we're doing is we're painting a picture using symbols in your mind to create physical and energetic changes in your body. So when we teach through mythology, through legend, through these powerful ancient stories, we're actually speaking deeply inside to something deeper and more powerful than our conscious mind. Our conscious mind really is only responsible for, you could say 5%, but probably less, of your behaviors and actions and your capacity for thinking and for affecting change in the world. Most of that power is in the unconscious mind. So we always, as people, as tribes, as civilizations, told myths because they speak to something deeper, something more powerful within us. The beautiful part is when we can take the conscious mind and start to pull on the threads and bring more awareness, more learning from those mythologies. And then we can combine the two. We can amplify our learning and transform the way that we engage in life. The most important thing that we can do is to initiate ourselves as the next level version. Most of us didn't go through a process of initiation. Women and men would have different ones, but most of us didn't get taught how to face our fears. Instead, we were taught to push them down, to numb them out, and to learn how to stop feeling. But to confront the Aswang, to confront this scary, frightening figure, is to initiate yourself into a higher level of being, to become the next version of yourself. For those of us that study in my academy, the clients and students that work with me, we're here to confront the fear. We're here to initiate ourselves, just like a young child would have to learn how to confront the darkness. A young child might be fearful of the dark because of the idea of these monsters lurking around. But it is the moment when we choose to overcome our fears, when we soothe our nervous system and we prepare ourselves for sleep, because sleep happens in the dark. That's when we evolve and that's when we overcome. Symbolically, we die as the child and we initiate into the man or the woman. We all carry monsters inside of us, whether it's the mythology that was given to you when you were younger, whether it was the programs in your culture, in your government systems, in your schools, on your social media, or in your news. We all have inherited monsters. The monsters that I might have might be different than the ones where you come from. But they all are here to be seen, to mirror something inside of us, and to confront something deeper. That's the work that I do. In my academy, the Mutant Academy, which is going to be launching very soon, we create community and we confront head-on those monsters. We retrain our nervous system. We learn how to breathe together. We learn how to soothe and calm our system and our emotions, how to change our thinking, how to literally reprogram and rewire our brain and nervous system so that we can be more effective and more powerful. Taking that initiation step from child into adult, from weak and fearful into empowered mutant, here to transform the whole planet. So if that sounds like something interesting for you, stick around, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be sharing a lot more mythologies and ways that you can upgrade your nervous system, your thinking, your emotions, and embrace the fact that you came here to be the black sheep, the mutant, the one that's different, the one that just doesn't fit in, never wanted to, and never will. Because what if your desire to break free is not just a reflection of your dissatisfaction of the way things are, but it's a sign that you came here to build a whole new earth? Want more content like this? Subscribe, like, and put on those notifications so that you can get the next videos to help you upgrade your mind and your mission.